We've got Chris Barriere, Kelly Price, and from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Michael Cohen. It's week 5 of Cheese and Packers. Guys, thanks so much for being here. I want to start today with the stinky cheddar, if you will. And in terms of Packers, it really stinks that there were so many injuries in week 1 of the preseason.
Yeah, so they were relatively healthy through the first week and a half or 2 weeks of camp, and then all of a sudden, once you get live tackling, everything changes. And so the two big ones that everybody focused on were the concussion for Demarius Randall, who took a vicious blindside block, and then the other concussion for Malachi Dupree, who just got leveled after he caught a short pass. Both of those guys are still in the concussion protocol, and as Packers fans have seen, sometimes a concussion lasts a couple days, sometimes it can last a couple months, so we really don't know where those guys stand.
And missed tackles was also a big problem in this last preseason game. The CBA restricts a lot of the off-season tackling, and you figure these guys haven't seen live tackling or done live tackling since January. Is this just rust to kind of shake off for the Packers, or something that fans should be worried about?
Yeah, I think it's probably just rust, because if you go through like the OTAs in the beginning of training camp, we could probably survive one of those practices. There's no tackling, no hitting allowed, and so my 140-pound frame would hold up fine. But once they get into the games, all these guys that haven't hit since January, it's like anything you do. If you don't do it for months and months and months, there's going to be problems. So I don't think it's anything to be concerned about yet, but historically, over the last couple of years, the Packers have had problems tackling.
140 pounds, that's it? Heart of a lion.
Soaking wet.
Right, soaking wet. Okay, well, we talked about.
That's why we need to get some cheddar.
Exactly. Here, get some fuel in you. We've talked about the bad. Why don't we talk about the good? The Gouda, the good, if you will. Who to you really stuck out? Who is the MVP of this game?
You know, so I thought that punter Justin Vogel did a really, really nice job. One of the things that he does well is this Aussie kick, where he can kick the ball really, really high in the red zone and have it come down and stop inside the 20-yard line. And that's really important because the Packers have added a new long snapper into the mix for the rest of camp. They re-signed veteran Brett Good, who's essentially...
Speaking of Gouda,
well, that's
Brett
what I was
Good,
getting
right?
for. I know. People didn't connect the long play there on that joke. But Brett Good is back. He snapped for like the last decade for the Packers, and they've had a couple instances where they've tried other guys in the offseason, but always brought him back.
And what did you see from the quarterback play? What did Brett Hundley, Joe Callahan, and Taysom Hill kind of show you? So
last year was supposed to be the summer of Brett Hundley, and it turned into the summer of Joe Callahan because of injuries. And so now we're flipping the script. It is the summer of Brett Hundley, finally. And this is a huge opportunity for him to actually prove to himself and to the coaches that he is worth being Aaron Rodgers' backup quarterback. I think there were some times where he made some really, really good throws and showed a lot of command of the offense, but every so often he has that head scratcher where he throws into coverage, and it's a little bit, you wonder what's going through his mind. The other two guys, Joe Callahan and Taysom Hill, I thought they played really well.
Aaron Rodgers, you know, many Packers fans would call him the greatest of all time, the GOAT, if you will. And we have some goat cheese that is absolutely delicious. Funny thing about Aaron Rodgers, though, week 3, really tough defense in the preseason against the Broncos. Will we see him in week 2, perhaps, even though week 3 is more likely the Rodgers game?
Typically, he would play the third game because that's when most of the starters are in there. It's the last tune-up for them because none of the starters really play in the 4th exhibition game. But as you mentioned, Denver has a tremendous defense. Does Von Miller really want a chance at Aaron Rodgers? Sure. Does Aaron Rodgers really want to face Von Miller staring down at him? I don't know. My gut still says he's probably going to play in the 3rd exhibition game, but I guess there's a small chance we see him early if they want to avoid Denver's defense.
So week 2, what are your expectations? What do you think the Packers will do this week?
I think this is going to be a week where they focus a lot on the running game. If you looked at the 1st exhibition game against the Eagles, it was really heavy on the pass. So I think they want to focus on Ty Montgomery a little bit, Jamal Williams. They want to get these guys more reps. Don't forget, Montgomery fumbled on his 2nd carry of the game, so he still has to prove that he can hold on to the football. And for Jamal Williams, just a rookie, he needs all the chances he can get to show that A, he can run, and B, he can protect Aaron Rodgers.
1 preseason game in the books, 3 more to go before we see some actual real football. Lots more Packers to talk about and lots more cheese to eat. Guys, thank you so much. Michael, thanks for being here. And please help yourself to some cheese.